challenge now is for Fayemi to do what he has to do to ensure that the people recovered from the lost ground arising from poor governance that was provided by the current PDP.
Victory at Ekiti signals good tidings for APC. Party leadership strategizes ahead of 2019 elections. President Buhari attests to Nigeria's role as big brother in Africa as Sierra Leonean diplomat competes on police tour of duty.
Skills acquisition came up with a proposal that was adopted by the council that will lead to providing more training in the technology and related areas.
Nigeria's industrialization on the move. Federal government clears the coast. Hello, good evening, and welcome to NTA Network News. I'm Nancy Godi Angunihu. Reading with me are Jennifer Igwe in Lagos, Caleb Goshin in Jos, and Agatha Egware Ojo in Benin. We start off with continental relations. President Muhammadu Buhari has described as gladdening Nigeria's capacity and ability to extend brotherly assistance to countries in need. He stated this while exchanging views with the outgoing High Commissioner of the Republic of Sierra Leone to Nigeria, Mrs. Haja Asfatu Kaba. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari told the Sierra Leonean envoy that it is a thing of joy for Nigeria to lend a helping hand to any African country in distress. He said the brotherly assistance extended to the countries affected by Ebola epidemic as well as the recent mudslide disaster was the least Nigeria could do. The president expressed the hope that the long-standing relationship between Nigeria and Sierra Leone, dating back to almost 60 years, will continue to flourish. He once again congratulated President Mother Bio on his election and wished the outgoing envoy, who spent 2 years in Nigeria, the best of luck in her next assignment. Mrs. Kaba expressed gratitude to the government and people of Nigeria for the support granted her and Sierra Leone, pledging that the good relationship will continue. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And stakeholders at the public hearing on a bill for an act to provide for the enforcement and punishment of crimes against humanity, war crime, genocide, and other related offenses are with the view that the quick passage of the bill will go a long way towards ending impunity in the country. This was at a one-day public hearing by House Committee on Treaties, Protocol and Agreements with stakeholders in Abuja. John Yaku reports that the committee also received memoranda for an act to give effect to the Stockholm Convention on persistent organic pollutants in the country.
The two bills, sponsored by Representatives Nicholas Osai and Stephanus Dong, are international treaties seeking domestication in Nigeria. However, the provision on domestication of treaties in Nigeria as enshrined in Section 12 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, says, no treaty between the Federation and any country shall have the force of law except to the effect that such treaty has been enacted into law by the National Assembly. The public hearing is therefore to give the legislative backing to the above treaties before they are entered into.
It's not meant to substitute the national mechanisms, but to complement them. The domestication of this bill would therefore give hope to victims and the Nigerian citizens to go to court.
Perpetrators of this heinous crime, if arrested and tried, will actually provide a solution for lasting peace.
The bill for an act to give effect to the Stockholm Convention on persistent organic pollutant and other related matters also received inputs from stakeholders. The bill seeks to protect human health and environment by banning the production and use of some of the toxic chemicals that are dangerous to the environment. Chairman of the committee appreciated the inputs from stakeholders with a promise to include their views in the final report.
This is the public hearing on it before we consider the reports and have concurrence with the Senate.
From the National Assembly, John Yaku, NTA News.
As the 2019 elections draw near, more pressure groups have continued to spring up in support and solidarity with President Muhammadu Buhari. One of them is the Parliamentary Support Group, comprising progressive members of the House of Representatives. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports on the formal interaction between members of the group and President Buhari.
The Parliamentary Support Group is formed by people of like minds to passionately articulate and push forward President Muhammadu Buhari's vision on the floor of the House of Representatives and indeed the National Assembly. At the closed-door meeting, also attended by the National Chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole, and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, the President engaged the parliamentarians on issues concerning the governing APC, state of the nation, projects and programs of government, as well as personal concerns and apprehension as the 2019 elections draw near. Leaders of the group who spoke to newsmen described the engagement with the president as fruitful.
It is necessary to come and inform the president that we are committed to remain party members, rally behind the president so that we can take our party to victory in the 2019 general elections.
He took time to explain to us a lot of things that he is doing, his vision for the country. He clarified a lot of issues. And as you can see, members are living very, very happy, and things will be fine.
They urged President Muhammadu Buhari to sustain his genuine efforts at making Nigeria better, promising to work harder towards enhancing cordiality between the executive and the legislature. For the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, the interface was highly encouraging and desirable.
Politics is a game of negotiation, it's a game of dialogue, it's a game of understanding, and it's for the betterment of our country. We are the party in government. The legislature is part of government. We'll be able to build synergy, build consensus around issues and find resolutions to it so that we can deliver on the dividends of democracy as we promised our people.
And of course, His Excellency Mr. President addressed all their concerns, assuring them that matters of party will be properly addressed and none of them should have fear. This is part of confidence building and bridging the gap between executive and legislature.
A similar engagement will be held with senators in the coming days. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The National Industrial Policy and Competitiveness Advisory Council says all issues affecting the growth of the industries in the country will be addressed and arrested adequately. This was at a full edition of the Council's meeting held in Abuja with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo presiding. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
The meeting dealt with issues around micro, small and medium enterprises, technology and financing, as well as capacity training in the technology space. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Elenama, says the Advisory Council had a good meeting.
A subcommittee working on skills acquisition came up with a proposal that was adopted by the council that will lead to providing more training in the technology and related areas to our people to create more jobs.
Those areas of interest that the council is enjoying the cooperation of the state governors, as the minister says, include land acquisition, multiplicity of taxes, and right-of-way. In a separate meeting, the Vice President also received United Kingdom's International Development Secretary, Penny Mordaunt. Discussion centers on economic prosperity, security, and humanitarian situation, especially in the Northeast.
We are very proud at my department for the partnership that we have with Nigeria, and we want to continue investing and supporting in health and education and want to ensure that Nigerian government is really able to keep investing in that too.
The Development Secretary says she is impressed with progress being made by the Nigerian government, especially in education and health. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And more on economic growth. The manufacturing sector in Nigeria is becoming much more promising with the newfound confidence among key players as a result of the Buhari administration's efforts to break away from an import-dependent economy. Correspondent Usman Aliyu reports that with the renewed impetus by the government, industries are beginning to excel in their capacity and delivery.
This exhibition is about the value of harnessing abundant resources in the country. It tells of the level of communication now in Nigeria, the readiness against dependency on foreign materials, especially in the construction industry, a continued quest for ideals by the Buhari administration for the country to realize its tremendous potentialities, the result of harnessing them for economic prosperity and better future. Industries like the West African ceramics in Ajakuta is beginning to change narrative in the area of exporting raw materials and importing finished goods. Now this company, with the production capacity of 30,000 square meters of tiles a day, is also harnessing precious stones, the marbles and granites, which before now were imported. Branding its product, Royal Ceramics, explains much of the quality and planned expansion for the varieties in the housing needs and more engagement of workers. First of its kind in Nigeria and West Africa, these products, marbles and granites, bring dual benefit in ownership, extraction and exploitation.
It is international standard, even better than some of these tiles that you bring from Taiwan and Thailand and China.
This roofing, a heat and wind resistant, favorable to Nigeria's weather, is made by the Nigeria's West African ceramics, a proof of its viability, it says, to support an affordable housing project by the federal government. In Abuja, Usman Aliu, NTA News.
And on to electoral matters. The All Progressives Congress, APC, this Friday conducted primary election for the September 22nd governorship election in Osun State. Correspondent Tope Alabi reports that the exercise was generally peaceful.
At the Salvation Army Middle School area in Alikuwodo, Osogbo, where Ward 5 members of the All Progressives Congress converged in their numbers to vote for their candidates, there was peace and decorum. Meanwhile, at Ward 2, Owokwe area in Olorunda local government, there was observable peace at the center, despite off-camera reported cases of what they described as lopsided and compromised process.
They would place the aspirant agents. As you can see, the situation is cool and calm.
About 17 aspirants are jostling for the APC governorship ticket. Notable among them include the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Alhaji Gboyega Oyetola, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives, Mr. Lasun Yusuf, and the Speaker, Osun State House of Assembly, Dr. Najim Salam. Some of the contestants, including the Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Moshood Adeoti, Elder Peter Babalola, and Senator Babajide Omourare, stepped down a few hours to the primary. The result of the election is expected to be declared at the party secretariat in Osogbo after collation must have been concluded. In Osogbo, Tokpe Alabi, NTA News.
More on democratic advancement. Coalition of APC support groups say the APC government at the center has laid a solid foundation and plan to sustain good governance. This was at a media briefing in Abuja, where the group made its position known on current national issues. Salihu Abdullahi reports.
As political activities gathers momentum towards 2019, political actors across Nigeria are up on their game towards attaining success in the forthcoming elections. For this reason, the coalition of APC support groups is responding to current political scenario from their own perspective.
To ensure the security and
the issues engaging the attention of APC coalition support groups include the emergence of the reformed APC and comments from the opposition.
It is therefore important for all of us to remain conscious and to commit ourselves to building durable peace. We must always remember that impunity and lawlessness can only breed societal instability and can undermine the basis of ethnic, social, and religious harmony among our beautiful diversity.
The group presented what it called verifiable infrastructural achievements of the APC government under President Muhammadu Buhari on transportation, agriculture and power that are positively transforming lives and boosting social economic activity. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari today held a closed-door meeting with the national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomole, at the presidential villa, Abuja. Adamu Sambo reports.
challenge now is for Fayemi to do what he has to do to ensure that the people recovered from the lost ground arising from poor governance that was provided by the current PDP. Now for Osun State, we are even much more confident because there we have a governor that is at home with his people. He's a mobilizer, he's an organizer, he's very politically clear, and an astute politician. We have also decided that in order to give more people a sense of ownership of what is going on in the electoral process, that we use direct primaries, which means that every card-carrying member of the APC in Osun State is going to participate in choosing who he wants to fly the flag of the party. Now, this method by itself gives more and more people a sense of ownership and a sense of commitment to the candidate that they have all fully chosen. You know, it returns the party to the grassroots.
National chairman of the APC there, Adams Oshomole, talking with newsmen after meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. International Republican Institute and National Democratic Institute have commended Nigeria's relentless effort towards advancing freedom and democracy. This came up when the Democratic Institutes visited the National Working Committee, NWC, of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf was there.
Democracy in Nigeria since 1999 has continued to advance. This the International Democratic Institute attributed to successive transitions at tenure expiration every 4 years. The institutes promised genuine commitment to assisting Nigeria in possible ways to deepen the nation's democracy.
We started our mission by making a short trip to Ekiti State because we wanted to see how the INEC, the Independent National Election Commission, would proceed in implementing some of the new guidelines that it has adopted since the 2015 national elections.
National Chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Raf Nwosu, restated the party's commitment to moving Nigeria to a greater future if given the opportunity in subsequent elections. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
Meanwhile, the United Kingdom and the United States of America are to spend $60 million in technical support in 6 years aimed at deepening democracy in Nigeria. The British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Arkwright, stated this shortly after a closed-door meeting between the International Development Secretary of State of the United Kingdom, Penny Mordaunt, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
The Secretary of State's visit to Nigeria is premised on the run-up to next year's general elections. She described Nigeria as Africa's biggest and one of its most vibrant democracies, which has made huge progress in recent years, ensuring credible, free, fair and peaceful elections.
We strongly support INEC to carry out its constitutional role, free from political pressure and intimidation, and encourage it to demonstrate neutrality and impartiality in its application of electoral law, to build voter trust and confidence.
The British High Commissioner said the Secretary of State was also in Ekiti State as part of her working visit to monitor last Saturday's governorship election.
We have confidence in INEC, we have confidence in the chairman of INEC. We've just been hearing about what he's doing to prepare for the elections in 2019. The UK has been a very strong supporter of INEC, and together with the US AID, the US Overseas Aid Directorate, we are spending something like $60 million over a 6-year period in support of deepening democracy in Nigeria.
He enjoined political parties in the country to respect their code of conduct. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
It's a busy week for the military and the police. Details when we return.
Wow, Chief Mike, how are you? Fine. I'm going to Sun office for the certification of my wheat flour.
Oh no, things have changed. Sun has simplified all its activities.
You could have even stayed back in Kano and processed all your papers online. Whoa.
With the efforts of Sun, the products of SMEs can now compete globally. Sun has put in place necessary machineries in support of the growth of SMEs. At highly subsidized charges, SMEs can now get their certification, laboratory testing of their products, as well as purchase of standards. Meanwhile, Sun is carrying out massive seizure of substandard goods in the market and have gotten legal backing to prosecute offenders, all to protect consumers and SMEs. Sun, improving life through standards.
Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, in collaboration with the government of Abia State, invite governors of the 9 states in the Niger Delta region, stakeholders and members of the public to the 3rd National Council on Niger Delta. Theme: Fostering Synergy and Institutional Coordination for Development in the Niger Delta region. Date: 22nd to 27th July 2018. Time: 10 a.m. daily. Venue: International Conference Center, New Ugurube Layout, Umuahia, Abia State. Host: Pastor Usani Uguru Usani, Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. Chief Host: Dr. Okezie Victor Ikweazu, Executive Governor, Abia State. Special Guest of Honor: Professor Yemi Oshimbajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Aminu Bisala, Permanent Secretary. Announcer.
The House Committee on Sports announces the shifted date of its 2-day National Sports Summit, earlier scheduled to hold on July 23rd and 24th, 2018 at Nikon Luxury, Abuja. The shifted date is largely due to the forthcoming African Youth Championship, slated for July 18th to 28th, 2018 in Algiers. A large concentration of stakeholders and sports enthusiasts are expected to be away in Algiers for the championship. The new dates for the summit are 14th and 15th August 2018 at the same venue, Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja. Inconveniences arising from these are highly regretted. For more information, please contact Okeyinka Matthew, Global Sports Consult, 0818-5522-268, 0805-328-3336. Suleiman Fatai, Clerk, House Committee on Sports, 0806-7713-438, 0818-5568873.
All insurgencies within our sovereign nation are curtailed. Most criminal activities are suppressed. Boko Haram has been rooted and holds no ground in Nigeria. However, its remnants and other criminals live and hide among us, conducting banditry and suicidal activities. It is our joint responsibilities to stop these devilish acts. The Nigerian army requires the support through information dissemination. If you see or suspect anyone around you, say something. Inform the army or other security agency nearest to you. Your efforts so far have been very useful and greatly appreciated. Please do more. Jointly we overcome. Jointly we shall stop them all. The Nigerian army is your army. Report suspects and reduce soldiers and civilian sacrifices. God bless Mr. President. God bless Nigeria.
The Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, Power Sector, Abuja, wishes to inform the public of the National Council on Power, NACOP, scheduled for Monday 23rd to Friday 27th July 2018. Venue, Brandeki Royal Hotel, 6 Uheneyu Street, off Iyama Road, GRA, Benin City. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Theme, sustaining access to electricity through improved power infrastructure. The National Council on Power, NACOP, is a forum for all stakeholders in the sector to deliberate on issues and propose solutions to challenges facing the sector. The Honorable Minister, Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, will chair the executive session of all state commissioners responsible for power and energy on Thursday, 26 July 2018. Chairman of Senate and House Committees on Power, donor agency, as well as other stakeholders are expected to be in attendance. Chief host, His Excellency Mr. Godwin Obaseki, Executive Governor, Edo State. Permanent Secretary, Power, Announcer.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible for stopping the spread of fake news in its tracks. So, always check the source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Thank you for staying with us. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has maintained that protecting human rights is one of the cardinal principles of the Buhari-led administration. This was part of the submission of the minister at a high-level roundtable held in his honor by the Atlantic Council, a think tank research center based in Washington, the United States of America. The minister is in Washington on the invitation of the council.
No, I think we actually started the conversation, or rather the presentation, reviewing the U.S.-Nigeria relations, and which is very excellent, as everybody knows, typified by the recent visit of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari to the White House, and it's on record that Muhammadu Buhari is the first leader in Sub-Saharan African to have been invited by Mr. Trump. And I think on the sideline of that meeting, Nigeria signed, an agreement by a consortium led by the General Electric to revamp and rehabilitate the 3,500 kilometers of narrow gauge railroad, which will link Lagos with Kano. And that was investment is worth about $2 billion.
Areas of interest, apart from human rights, included the recent clashes between farmers and herders, as well as an update on counterinsurgency in the northeast. And checking out some security issues, Bama, Borno State, our defense correspondent Ismail Musa brings us up to speed with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukudu Burattai's operational visit.
The Chief of Army Staff, in company of top officers and commanders, are here to appraise the operation of 21 Brigade Bama after their recent encounter with the Boko Haram terrorist group. Well done. Troops from the 21 Armored Brigade Bama recently, while on regular patrol, attacked and dislodged Boko Haram camps of Bama.
I want to encourage you and to commend you for the very good work you are doing.
Impressed by the troops' high level of patriotism and gallantry exhibited during the successful operation, the Army Chief upgraded the formation to a special brigade that attracts special provision and will perform special operations.
We must clear the remnants of the Boko Haram terrorists that are still parading. And I assure you, there are no any serious threats. There's very few elements that are still moving about to show that they are still relevant. But by and large, you can pick many of them by hand. You must be firm on all occasions and maintain the aggressive posture.
He also promised to improve their logistics to enhance their performance. From Bama in Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And still breaking more grounds, the Air Task Force on Operation Lafia Dole has successfully neutralized Boko Haram terrorists in Bulagalaye and Kwakwa in Borno State. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesonya, indicates that the successful airstrikes on both locations was as a result of efforts to trail and neutralize fleeing terrorists after Nigerian army troops had repelled the attack on their location around Bama. The Air Task Force scrambled an intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance platform and the Air Alpha jet aircraft to conduct air interdiction and strikes on the terrorist location at a staging area in Bulagalaye. Intelligence reports later revealed that a smaller bunch of the Boko Haram terrorists had resettled in Kwakwa, and accordingly waves of strikes were carried out on the location, neutralizing the terrorists. The Air Task Force says it will continue to conduct mission to support ground troops by providing close air support in counterinsurgency operations in the northeast. And the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation has required drones to be used for survey purposes. The drones were presented to the Chairman House Committee on Works, Toby Okechukwu, who suggested that the facility be used to provide information to improve agriculture, security, aviation and weather forecasts. John Yaku has details.
Nigeria's landmass is 910,780 square kilometers, but only 3% is documented. Poised to document more lands, the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation has acquired high-precision drones through its collaboration with Portugal, using continuous operating reference stations to get survey plan. Presenting the equipment to the Chairman House Committee on Works in Abuja, the Surveyor General is optimistic that through this technology, revenue could be generated while farmers would have land title to acquire loans for agriculture.
This will bring about great revenue generation to the state and the federal government.
He said the drones can be deployed for other purposes.
And with the accuracy, they'll be able to dictate precisely and tell the relevant government office, the securities, to say, look, we're observing this kind of troop movement.
Chairman House Committee on Works urged the Surveyor General of the Federation to liaise with other agencies to utilize the information generated from the area vehicle.
And our planes can land without visibility problems, and we're able to tame the exposure of Nigerian farmers and to Boko Haram and to various killers.
The drones are capable of flying 10 kilometers in 25 minutes at the altitude of 2 kilometers. From the National Assembly, John Yaku, NTA News.
It's over now to our Lagos Network Center, where Jennifer has the trending stories. Hello, Jennifer. Take it over.
Thank you, Nancy. Good evening. Thank you for joining us in Lagos. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo this evening assessed the gridlock on the Oshodi-Tinkan Island Apapa Wharf Road in Lagos, which has virtually paralyzed economic activities at the nation's ports. Tunde Saiki captured the visit.
The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, who was accompanied by the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, walked the length of the Tinkan Island Port Road, where traffic has been at a standstill, with vehicles unable to either enter nor leave the port. The Vice President later assessed the situation from the air. Reacting to the visit of the Vice President, some port users appealed to the federal government to direct the port operators to build parking bays outside the port to ease congestion on all the roads in and around the area.
Thank God the Vice President came with the Minister for Transportation. Let them know that this road, a lot of money, this port generates a lot of money.
If the shipping company have a holding bay outside, it will help to decongest the road, because all the whole entities are coming inside the port, and they have told them since 2 years ago they should go and get a holding bay so that all these trucks with empty container, you will not see them on the road.
Assuming that the Vice President came with vehicle
I'm not sure that he would even arrive to this Apapa today because of what is happening in the road.
With a resolve to immediately start Operation Restore Sanity on Lagos roads. This operation, which kicks off Friday by midnight, 0000 hours, is intended to move trucks and containers from our bridges, from our roads and highways to designated locations.
The recurring gridlock in Apapa has defied several attempts to clear it in the past. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Now, Medview Airline has taken delivery of its newly acquired B77200ER to boost its fleet. The aircraft, with registration number 5NBVY, touched down on Thursday at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. Elizabeth Ewuga completes the report.
The aircraft was received joyfully by the management and staff of Medview Airline as well as other aviation stakeholders. The Chief Executive Officer of Medview Airline, Alhaji Muniye Bankole, says the aircraft, which has a capacity of 323 passengers with 38 in business class, is wholly owned by the airline.
First of all, we have to give thanks to Almighty God, the God of universe. It's like a dream come true. This is one of our plans. Over the years, we've been leasing aircraft for Hajj, for international operation, which have consumed much of our foreign reserve. So this year, at the beginning of this year, it was one of our dreams that will be the end of leasing.
He said that the jumbo jet will be deployed for Hajj operations next week when the airline begins airlifting pilgrims to Mecca and Medina. Alhaji Bankole says the airline expects to airlift about 10,000 Nigerian pilgrims during the operation.
We'll be commencing our operation for the Hajj this year on the 25th. We are operating from 6 airports. We are operating from Lagos, we are operating from Kaduna, we are operating from Kano, we are operating from Ilorin, we are operating from Port Harcourt, and we are operating from Maiduguri.
Alhaji Bankole added that 2 more aircraft are expected to join the fleet by the end of August this year.
The shareholders, this is a wonderful gift from God to all of us. And I wish God will continue to shower his blessing on us. This is a wonderful thing to bring the price. We are going to the IPO, bring the price from the current 2.4 to 4 naira. So a big return for your investment.
Medview Airline already has 3 Boeing 737-400, 1 Boeing 777-200ER, and another Boeing 767-300ER aircraft in its fleet. In Lagos, Elizabeth Ewuga, NTN News.
Now to business. Federal government 10.6 billion naira green bond listed on the Nigerian capital market as Federal Accounts Allocation Committee disburses May 2018 revenue allocation. Let's join Abolade Salami for the details of these and more in a business news segment.
Glad to have you join us on the business news segment. We'll start tonight on a cheery news. The federal government's 10.69 billion naira green bond is the first ever African sovereign and climate bond issued. The 13.48% green bond issued December 2017 was raised to combat the threat of climate change. Listing the bond on the capital market, Director General Debt Management Office Patience Onia says the instrument was raised to fund key capital projects in the environment.
Government in the financial markets. So typically we would like to issue volumes, subject to the approval for the borrowing, so we don't borrow without approvals. Within what is approved, we would like to issue securities that will enable us to attract investors. But we also like to issue volumes that support trading, because where there's no secondary market, the primary market is not as strong as it should be.
The scope of green bonds in our market cuts across virtually every facet of our economy, from energy and transport to waste management and agriculture, and provides distinct opportunities for issuers of green bonds across various industries.
Minister of State Environment Ibrahim Jubril described the listing of the bond on the capital market as part of government strategy to tackle climate change.
And we are trying to align ourselves with that goal in order to sustain our economy through green projects. We realize the fact that budgetary provision alone cannot be sufficient for us to do a lot of activities on the environment.
The 10.69 billion naira federal government green bond, which is expected to mature in the year 2022, stakeholders say will not only bring about reduction in carbon emission, but will also help diversify the capital market and attract more investors. And now let's see how the market reacted after trading today.
At the close of Friday's trading, the all-share index closed in the green, appreciating by 0.37% to close at 36,603.44 basis points, with a value of shares traded at 679 million, valued at 3.9 billion naira, which exchanged hands in 3,677 deals and a market capitalization of 13.2 trillion naira. Dangote Cement, with 4 naira 7 kobo gain, led the table, followed by Nigerian Breweries, which appreciated by 1 naira 9 kobo, while Nestle, with 12 naira 3 kobo loss, led the losers table, followed by Presco, which depreciated by 7 naira 35 kobo per share.
In another development, the Federal Account Allocation Committee has disbursed the sum of 668.898 billion naira to the 3 tiers of government as May allocation. The total revenue realized for the month was shared in line with the extant formula. The federal government got the sum of 282.223 billion naira, as state governments received 181.16 billion naira, while local government councils were paid the sum of 136.49 billion naira. And that concludes business news segment. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us.
Your favorite Maggi star now wears a new look. Its great taste and quality still remain the same. With Maggi, every woman is a star.
Time don't reach again for the biggest event for top football matter. Now Mobile Peel and Win. And as millions of people around the world they scatter their head on top their favorite teams, Mobile won't make sure say you go hammer your own trophy big time. Whether you be mechanic, driver, even car owner. Now Mobile Peel and Win. Just buy the 4-liter size of Mobile Super 1000 lubricant. Peel the front and back labels and you go see pin number. Text Mobile plus the pin to 58123 and instanta you go win airtime. That pin where you send so go also qualify you for the raffle draw for Mobile Peel and Win promo, where you fit win tear rubber motor, generator, gas cooker, motorcycle, tricycle, smartphone, and other prizes there. No be small, Mobile promo go shell from the 15th of May, go reach 31st of August 2018. The more mobile lubricant you buy, the more your chance to win. No dull yourself, make you dey peel, dey win, dey go. Terms and conditions dey shall.
Make it mobile.
This is NTA Network News. Now turning to the oil and gas sector. The Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASAN, has commended the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, for sustaining the periodic publication of the corporation's financial and operations reports across traditional and new media. President of the association, Olabode Johnson, said the action was an example of transparency and accountability in the petroleum sector, which has remained the largest source of revenue to the Federation account. Other achievements loaded by the union included significant debt recovery drive from oil traders, boosting the corporation's commitment to the frontier exploration, recent signing of the NLNG train of front-end engineering design or FEED contract, among others. Caleb in Jos brings us more reports.
Welcome to Jos. The 551 Nigerian Air Force Station Jos has extended its medical outreach to internally displaced persons camp in Plateau State. The 3-day medical outreach is aimed at addressing the health needs of people affected in the recent violence in some communities. Abdul Wahab Babankanti has more.
The Director of Public Health and Humanitarian Services, Air Force Headquarters, Group Captain Azubike Chukwuka, said it is part of their corporate social responsibility towards ameliorating their health challenges.
By caring for their medical needs, we'll bring them closer to ourselves. Not only that, well, we're able to work in synergy but we're able to achieve better results.
The commander of 551 Nigerian Air Force Station Jos, Air Commodore Hassan Idris Al-Haji, said the Air Force has a strong vision to engage in humanitarian services to alleviate the sufferings of the displaced persons and to build a mutual understanding between the military and the civil communities.
It's not the responsibility of the government alone or of the military alone. It's everybody's responsibility.
The assistance they are going to render, it will go a long way in calming nerves.
I thank you for what they are doing for us.
For me, I've benefited and I appreciate the Air Force.
Their services has come to give us hope.
The team provided free medical health care and curative services, medical glasses, mass deworming to over 2,000 outpatients, and distributed treated mosquito nets to pregnant women, and as well carried out surgery for over 40 patients. In Jos, Abdullah Babankanti, NTA News.
Of Nigeria, Khan, is working with Plateau State government to facilitate the return of internally displaced persons to their homes. This followed discussions between Khan, northern state officials, and the state government after their visit to some of the areas affected in the recent violence. Zenret Dungmun has more.
At the government house Little Rayfield, the team was received by the Commissioner for Special Duties, Hitler Daddy, who said he is moved by the love demonstrated by the leaders as they traverse the various northern states to condole those affected by insecurity.
I would also want to appeal that we must keep the spirit of oneness.
The team also visited the Plateau State Camp Secretariat, IDP camps at Kokin, Haipang, and Geosciences Angle D, where they encouraged the people to be firm in prayers and refrain from anger as it does nothing but destroy, even as government and security agencies are working tirelessly to rehabilitate their home.
I will call on the governor that instead of the IDPs to be in Bukuru in the city, let there be an emergency construction to bring these people back to this place.
The protocol officer, Kokin Gashish, Reverend Polycarp Davoire, and representative of the Gomre of Gashish, Da Mark Bode, appreciated the team for their efforts. In Jos, Zenred Dingmun, NTA News.
Nancy, Jos is done. It's back to you.
Thank you, Caleb. And from Jos, we move over to Benin, where Agatha is waiting. Agatha, you're on.
Of the Babarabi Foundation Community Development Initiative in Jetu Uzarwe, Isako West local government area of Edo State by the South Korean ambassador to Nigeria. Good luck, Inaini has the report.
Site for the Babarabi Foundation Community Development Initiative is expected to house the Women and Children Hospital, nursery and primary school, orphanage home, and recreational facilities to cater for the less privileged. For Governor Baseki and the South Korean ambassador to Nigeria, the initiative is in line with government's drive towards building human capacity.
We're reviewing how we manage our old people's homes and centers. We're reviewing how we manage our remand centers. We're reviewing how we manage the schools and centers for people with special needs.
The South Korean ambassador to Nigeria in Tien Lee expressed commitment to the project in addition to the $200,000 donation offered. For the initiator and former permanent secretary, Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning, the project is in furtherance of her late parents' philanthropic gesture.
We must individually lend a helping hand to our neighbors who are may not have as privileged as some of us, those of you.
Governor Baseki unveiled the project and also performed the foundation laying ceremony. From Jetu Uzari, I am Goodluck Inaini, NT News.
The federal government has taken steps to ensure that roads are motorable by prompt response to fixing the failed portions. Managing Director of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Nuruddin Rafidani, was on inspection of rehabilitation work on failed portions on some roads in Edo and Delta states to ensure durability. Eugenia Ndubisi reports that FEMA is also desilting drains for free flow of flood.
Repairs have been completed on 3 failed portions of the Murtala Mohammed Way in Benin.
It's good to continue to be doing all this kind of good work.
So if they continue like this, at least we'll have more things, we'll have more road in Nigeria. One
of the bridges on the Benin-Asaba Expressway that motorists complained of vibrations has also been fortified. Desilting of drains along the Abo Road in Benin for free flow of flood water is also ongoing. Managing Director of FEMA, Nuruddin Rafindadi, says the maintenance of work became necessary due to the economic importance of the roads.
I'm generally satisfied that we've gotten value for the money we spent. And I've also made some few observations, not really much of a problem, but those observations will be addressed and corrected. He will do it.
Rehabilitation of Alaja DSC Road in Delta State is ongoing. In Benin, Eugenia Ndubisi, NTA News.
That's it from here. Nancy continues with the network news.
Thank you, Agatha. It's time for another break. The news continues in just a moment.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three
You are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah?
Welcome.
You take that one. Yeah, take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
How they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Sports now. Falconets intensify training ahead